analysing a song. So for our worksheet that we started the term with, we were analysing and comparing one version of Duke Ellington, one version of Doug DeVries of the song Caravan. I'm not going to play the songs because we will get a copyright strike on YouTube. So you're going to have to listen to the song by yourself. So have a listen to the song a couple of times, just the first 90 seconds of each of those. So if you haven't done that, please do so. We listened to it in class a couple of times, but maybe a couple more would not go astray. So in the link here, I've got some glossaries. So we're going to look at some expressive outcome ones first. So I think the first one, they're both kind of upbeat in their own way, and they're both kind of so probably scared, probably angry, not the right words. Maybe happy, I would say, especially for the Doug DeVries ones. I thought it had a bit of a light quality, a bit of a playful quality, even humorous with that sound. It's probably related to the tone color more than anything. That the tuba sort of sound is a bit of a funny sound or a bit of a playful sound. And the other one starts with the drums. And maybe it's got a bit of a cool sound to it. So maybe it's more of a relaxed, more of a content, easygoing, laid back, those sort of terms. So just remember, when we're analysing a song, we are choosing character words or expressive outcome words, and then they will be the words that we relate the elements to. Okay? So for this activity, though, we're just looking at the elements and getting our thoughts on the page. So tone color, I spoke about that before. For the Doug DeVries one, we had like a tuba or low brass, we can call that. Could have been a trombone, but maybe it was a tuba. I think there was a trumpet mixed in there potentially. So again, that's like a high brass if we wanted to be more broad. What else did we have? We had drums as well. We had bass. Accordion was playing the melody, if you recall. Have a listen back if you don't remember. And there was also guitar. In this one, it was just a trio. It was drums, bass, double bass. The other one might have been double bass, but I'm not sure. And piano. So if we're going to the next step, that's the fundamental level. You would describe some of these sounds. So accordion has a bit of a honky sound, maybe. The guitar was jazzy, so it's kind of got that. Guitars can be bright, or they can be clear. The clean sort of clean or clear. Jazzy sort of guitars, they can be clean and bright. Bass is normally a bit more dull or booming, particularly double bass. Drums can be booming, or depending on the instrument, can be metallic or tinny as well. So some of that is definitely in the other one as well. The piano can be warm. So you need to have some words in your arsenal to describe the sound. So if we're writing sentences, as I said, I've got the sentence starters as well that I'd like you to be a bit more familiar with as well. That will help you construct an answer in a SAC or an exam, and I'll link that here as well. So just go down to the description and I'll link that. All right, so dynamics is a little bit more of an easy element to understand. It's just simply relative volume or intensity of sounds or notes. So we spoke about what are the causes of the dynamics. So we need to be familiar roughly with, PP being pianissimo, piano, MP, MF, F, FF. So what does that mean? Double P is pianissimo, very soft. Piano is soft. Mezzo piano, moderately soft. Mezzo forte, moderately loud. Loud, and very loud. If we've got those, that is a strong foundation. And then we've got crescendo, which means getting louder, and decrescendo, which means getting softer. They are the fundamentals of dynamics, and they can help us describe individual instruments, sections of instruments, or the whole sound. So we've got individual instruments. We can describe that the vocals are very loud, or the piano is very soft, being the piano the instrument, not the dynamic. So individual combinations of instruments, or the whole sound. So we're trying to describe that, and as I said before, the changes in the sound, changes, and the causes. So I think it starts with the drum in this one, so that might be something. So drums start and instruments are added. So you need to be able to describe why things are changing and the changes. So you might say drums start at mezzo piano and instruments are added to increase intensity and volume to forte, if that's what you believe. For example, that might be an example of one sentence. And if you wanted to add to that, you might say, and this contributes to the lively, laid back and calm expressive outcome. Okay, texture. Texture is how sounds are combined and how they interact. Okay, so monophony is a single instrument. Heterophony is multiple instruments playing, so multiple playing the same. Homophony is chords and melody. And polyphony is multiple melodies. So you got to decide which one best describes the texture of that for each version, obviously, and if you can relate that back to the expressive outcome as well, that's always a bonus. What else can we say about texture? So you can talk about the roles of the instrument. So there's the roles as well. So there are melodic roles, there are harmonic roles, rhythmic roles. They're the main three. There might be some other ones. Melodic, so that can include lead melody, lead melody and counter melody. Harmonic rolls. So that could include bass lines. They're playing a lower harmonic roll or a lower melodic roll. And the rhythmic rolls of the drums and percussion. So that's what we're trying to describe. And duration, simply the length of notes and the length of silence. Types of notes. So lengths. So of notes and rests. The types. So that comes back to knowing your types. You got your, whole, half, quarter, eighth, 16th, etc. Dotted notes, dotted and tied notes, if you can speak about those, shows extra understanding. You can also talk about, accents and stops. Syncopation is a good word for describing rhythm. So syncopation is when the accent is off the beat, or the important part of the beat is off, part of the rhythm, I should say, is off the beat. Is off the beat. Another good word for harmony, rhythm, and melody is ostinato, if you can describe the repetition. Okay, so have a go at that. I'd love to read your thoughts on that. So if you can get that into me by next week, i.e. say the 28th or the 30th, let's say the 30th, I'll give you an extension. See you in class.